Hey guys, this is OJ here, coming to you with another great tutorial on the LEDGER Nano X today. This is a brand new device. It's a very exciting day for me. I just received the LEDGER Nano X. It is the latest model of the LEDGER, which is a French maker of hardware wallets for cryptocurrencies, and they have been doing that for a number of years already. With every new device, of course, there is a lot of hype, and there is a lot of things that you need to know before you set it up. So if you just purchased your first LEDGER Nano X, follow this step-by-step guide. First, I'm going to do unboxing, of course, and after that I will be going through the step-by-step setting up process. If you are already familiar with the LEDGER products, for instance LEDGER Nano S, which is the previous model of this device, you will notice that it's very similar in size, and the way it looks as well, it is very similar. It is a slightly larger device. I'm going to show you when I open it, and the key difference here is that this device is using Bluetooth connectivity. If you are not connecting it to the computer with a cable, then it will have to take the power from somewhere, and in this case it has a battery, so you will have to charge it. And if you are traveling somewhere for a weekend or short trip, then you probably don't need the cable anyway, which means that it will be the smallest device that you can carry around with you, smaller than the Trezor and Keep Key, which are devices that I'm already using. I've done tutorials on these as well, but LEDGER Nano S has always been the most compact of all of these devices, and with this new model LEDGER Nano X, they stick to the compact size and to the same design as well, which is great. Another improvement is that this time we have a larger screen. Pretty much the whole device is a screen, and the buttons are not on top of it but at the front. And probably the biggest improvement is the fact that you can now store up to 100 crypto assets in one device. Unlike the previous models where you could store 5, 10, 20, you couldn't actually store that many, so many people had to actually use multiple devices, myself included. So if you're a business owner, or even if you're just a user like myself who holds a lot of different cryptocurrencies, you don't really need to have multiple devices anymore. You can do all of that in one device. So not only we have a larger capacity of device itself, we have a larger screen as well, and we have wireless connectivity. These are all improvements from the previous model. So let's open it now and see what do we have in the box. Okay, so let's get it unboxed. The first thing that we see is that the box is pretty much the same size as the previous model, but it feels a little bit heavier, and the device itself is a little bit heavier. So let's find out what do we have in the box. Very sleek design as usual. This is expected from LEDGER, and here is the device itself. And on the back we have varies in numerous again, strength in numbers. I don't know if you can see it. I know that the light is a little bit too bright, but nevertheless. So here we go. This is the device, and I'm going to remove this film slip. Okay, and this is how it looks. Now the first thing that we see is that we don't have the two buttons on top. The previous model, the Nano S, had two buttons, left and right, that you are operating with. Here, these are the buttons. Basically, this is the left button, and this here works as the right button. Okay, this is the back of it. Made in France, LEDGER Nano X. And there is a USB port. Now we have a much larger screen than the previous model, the Nano S, and it is a little bit heavier, also a little bit bigger than the previous model. Let me grab it and compare the two. So this is my previous model, Nano S, and this is the Nano X. Slight difference in the size. Slightly bigger and a little bit heavier, but very little bit. So these are the two buttons that I was talking about. If you are familiar with the Nano S, you know that you are using these two buttons on top to navigate through the apps. In this case, we are using this one and this one. These are operating as buttons. Okay, what else is in the box? So this is the cable. It's actually a nice cable. It's not rubbery and it's not going to be tangled. It's a USB-C cable, so it is slightly different than the micro USB that we were using with the previous device. Then we have the different cards here, which is a standard. There are a few stickers and of course the care and regulatory statement, which is something that is required. This is your getting started guide and you have it in a few different languages. I'm going to walk you through the process, so don't worry about that. And then you have 3 of these recovery sheets. Now these are very important because this is where you will be writing down your seed phrase. The seed phrase is what protects the device. It's basically the most important thing that you need in order to use this device. Also, if you lose this device or if it gets damaged or stolen or something, you will be able to synchronize a new device with that seed phrase, and then you will be using it as your original device. Also, because I have the Ledger Nano S, I will be able to sync this new device with my seed phrase from this one here, and I'll be able to get the funds that I have in this device without needing to send them over from this one to the new one. So I will be able to basically synchronize this device as an old device, not as a new device. But in this tutorial, first I will show you how to set it up as a new device if this is the first device that you're buying. And then in a separate tutorial I'm going to show you how to recover an older device, how to restore it from a seed phrase and use it as a previous device rather than as a new device.
Okay, so I'm ready to get started with the setting up process. First, you will need a couple of things. Of course, the device, and you will need to have an application called Ledger Live. This is how it looks like. It is the application that you will be controlling the device with. So you will download it in your computer, and if you want, you can also download it on your mobile device. I recommend for the initial setup that you use your computer, of course, and to connect the device to the computer, you will need to use the cable. This is how you connect it to the computer. However, to connect it to your mobile device, you will be using the Bluetooth connectivity. And in terms of safety of the Bluetooth connectivity, they have this blog here, which I will have the link, of course, in the description box as well. And this is explaining in more details the security of Bluetooth here. The fact is that all your critical data, such as private keys and the seed phrase, do not leave the device. So even if your Bluetooth is being hacked, your data will not be compromised. All of the actions, like sending a transaction, need to be confirmed on the device. And the device this time has 2 secure chips. One of them is called the secure element. And that secure element is more powerful than the one on the Ledger Nano S. This is why the Ledger Nano X is really an upgrade. Now, another thing that I want to point out here before I move on to the setting up process is the fact that the supported crypto assets on the Ledger Nano X are over 1,185 at the moment. Out of these, 78 are coins and over 1,000 tokens. These are all of the Ethereum based tokens and more. So if you want to find all of these, I will have the link, of course, in the description. You can scroll down here, but if you're looking for a specific coin or token, it will be easier to use the Control F on your browser and then look for a coin. For instance, here I'm looking for ubiex just to see I can find it straight away. Or maybe I want to find out if they're supporting Stellar, and as I start typing it, it shows up in here. So this is how I can find a specific coin. But if you just want to find out all of the coins, then you will browse through all of these. It's quite a lot of them. So let's go to the setup. This is the support page, and this is where you will be downloading the Ledger Live application from. With the Ledger Live application, you're controlling the device. So every coin that you want to be adding on that device, you will have to add first, you will have to add it on the device itself as in the application for that coin, being Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple or Dash or any of them. So you will add the application to the device. This is how you will be controlling them. Then you will be synchronizing them, and the information from the Ledger device will be synchronized to the blockchain of that coin via the Ledger Live application. So there are two things that you will need to do. You will need to add the application on the device itself, and then you will also be adding it here as an account on your Ledger Live application as well. These are the two things that you need in order to operate with this device. So let's go back to that page here and download the Ledger Live application.
And this is the page where you need to download the Ledger Live application from. You will click on download now, and then it will prompt you to download the latest update. So even if you have Ledger Live application, make sure that you have the latest update. As we see, I have the Ledger Live 1.1.10, so this is an older version that I have. The latest one is 1.9.1. So this is what I will be downloading right now. Okay, so now I need to choose my install location. I will leave it as default, and I will just click install. And now it's going to run the application as I click finish. Let's open it. Okay, now because I'm not a new user, I've already used Ledger Nano S with Ledger Live. I have an account, I have a password here, so it's asking me for that password. Okay, and what I will do here is go straight to manager. Here I'm prompted to connect my device, and now I'm ready to start setting this up. First thing I need to do is hold this button here for 3 seconds, and this will start the device. So now we can see that my battery is actually quite low battery. So I will need to charge it, and I will do that, and I will continue with the setup process. So when you receive it, bear in mind you might have to actually charge it for maybe a few minutes or an hour before you set it up. I'm going to Ledger Live first, and now, as I said, I'm going to manager, and here it's asking me to connect the device. So let's go to the device. Here I'm asked to press the right button and to download the Ledger Live. I've already done that, it's running. And let's browse through the list. Press both buttons to validate a section. When you're confirming any action, you have to press both buttons at the same time. Okay. Now I have the option to set it up as a new device. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to confirm this option with both buttons, and now I'm asked to choose a PIN between 4 to 8 digits. I'm going to confirm with both buttons again, and now I'm going to start entering the PIN. For this tutorial, I will enter 1, confirming it with both buttons. Then I will enter 2, confirming it with both buttons. Then I will enter 3 and 4 and 5. If I want to, I can continue, but in my case, I'm happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to confirm here. Now I need to confirm the PIN code just to make sure that I remember it and that I didn't make a mistake. Okay, so now it's giving me a recovery phrase that I will need to write down. I'm pressing both buttons to confirm that I'm ready to do that. And I will be writing down this phrase on a piece of paper. I will not be storing it digitally, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so let's click with the right button and this is the first word. It will be a string of words. Scrap. The next one is unit. Word number 3, powder. 4, picnic. And the last one, 24, is first. How ironic. Okay, so the next step will be to confirm that I have written it down. Press left to verify your 24 words. Press both buttons to continue. So if you are not sure if you wrote them correctly, you can go left and it will take you back word by word, so you can check if you have all of this correctly. If you know that you've done it right and you confirm it, you press both buttons to confirm. So now it's going to ask me some of these words, hopefully not all of them, just to make sure that I have written everything down. Both buttons again to start confirming. The first one is corral. It's not. I will need to now scroll here between all of these and find which is the first word. And I found it. With both buttons I'm confirming it. So now it's asking me for the second word, which is unit. I found it. With both buttons I'm confirming, and now I'm going to the third word and all the way until the last word. So in fact it did make me go through the 24 of them. It wasn't just a few of them, it was all 24 of them that I needed to confirm, and that is all done. So finally I'm able to move on to the next step. So my device is now ready. Let's see what is the next step. Access dashboard. Let's do that. As we can see, it is now recognizing the device here on the app and it's connecting it. So let me move that screen down a little bit so that you can see what I'm getting here. So now I'm asked to allow the ledger manager on my device. And here, what I need to do is, as you know, to confirm, press both buttons. Okay. So the device is now ready, and I can now start adding applications to that device. What I will need to do is here I can choose to install the Bitcoin application, for instance. And as I mentioned earlier, you can install up to 100 applications on that device. So you can store up to 100 different currencies on this device. So Bitcoin is successfully installed and I can see it here as well. Let's install Ethereum. Okay, so you can see now the first one is Bitcoin, then the next one is Ethereum, and then I don't have any other one, so I have a plus sign. So now I'm going to install Ripple. Okay, Ripple is also installed. Okay, so what is the next step? Let me move my camera, and I'm going to be working now with the application more than the device itself. I'm going to go to Portfolio or Accounts. These are the two options where you can actually see what you have on your device. Now bear in mind, I do have a Ledger Nano S, which is also synchronized with this Ledger Live application. So when I go to Accounts, it's actually showing me here a list of accounts that I already have on my Ledger Nano S device. What I will need to do is add a new account. So here there is a button in the corner. When you open it, if you don't have another device and it's your first device, this will be empty here. So you will go here to the plus button, add account, and you will be adding a new account. In my case, I will select Bitcoin because I just downloaded Bitcoin to the Ledger Nano X, and I'm gonna go to continue. So now I need to connect and unlock the device. It is connected, and I have to navigate to the Bitcoin application on my device. This is why I downloaded Bitcoin application on the device itself. So as you can see from here, I can navigate to the Bitcoin application, and once I've selected it, I will click on the two buttons simultaneously to confirm. So now the application is starting. I'm gonna click on continue. Okay, and now I can give it a name because I already have a couple of other accounts of Bitcoin with my Ledger Nano S. I'm going to call this Bitcoin 1x, just so that I know that this is the account on the Ledger Nano X. Okay, now I need to check this box here, and now I'm ready to add this account. It is done. I can add more or just close that, and here we will see, so I have the other accounts of Bitcoin that are on my Ledger Nano S, and so that it's not confusing, I put here the X. This is the account that I just created on my Ledger Nano S. Let's click on that one. It prompts me that I don't have any assets in there, and the first thing that I can do is grab the address and send it to whoever needs to send me money, or maybe even to myself, so that I can move some of my Bitcoin from another address into this one. So let's click on receive, and I'm going to click continue. Now it's asking me to verify that address on the device. I will click continue, and here I have the full address displayed, which is also better than the Nano S, where the address was kind of scrolling left and right and you had to monitor each digit, you know, very quickly. Here I can see the full address. I can see it on the screen. I have the QR code if I want to scan it, and I have it here on the device. And this is very important because this way you really have no room for mistakes. If you make sure that the address displayed on the screen matches the address on your device, then there is no doubt that everything is correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this address here. In fact, what I'm going to do is Bitcoin might be a bit of a slow transaction compared to some other cryptos. So let's do something else. Let's use Ethereum. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an Ethereum account here. Go to accounts, add account, select Ethereum, continue. So I already have the Ethereum app on the device. I'm adding it here to my Ledger Live manager. And once this is done, I will just send Ethereum to this account because it will be faster, and for the tutorial purposes it will make things easier for me. I need to go to the application on the device, open it. Here I need to click continue. Okay, and now I'm going to call this Ethereum X. Again, just to make sure that I can easily spot it, adding the account, closing. So let's scroll down and we can find it here, Ethereum X. It has 0 Ethereum, so let's click on that and let's get the address. All right, and this address is 0x9. Let's verify it here. 0x9, GE, and so on. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this address and I'm going to go here to my Jax wallet where I have a little bit of Ethereum, and here I'm going to make a transaction. I'm going to send a very small amount into this address just to test it, to make sure that everything works, and then we're going to proceed after that. Okay, so back to the Ledger Live application. Let's find out if this transaction is already received. And what you will notice is that the actual device is not connected to the application. Right now, I'm only going to check that transaction, and for that, I don't need the device to be connected. I need the device to be connected only to send, to confirm a transaction when I'm sending it. So I will show you now. Okay, so when I log in, I'm being sent to this portfolio page. This is by default, and let me make my camera invisible. So now what I need to do is go to the account where I just sent that Ethereum. So I will go to accounts and I will scroll down here until I get to the account I'm looking for. This is the one, Ethereum X. Let's go to this one, and now we can see here the transaction has been received. And if I want to know more about this transaction, I will scroll down and I will see it here. I can open it and see the details, see the time that it was received. You can also see more details about this transaction if you open it in the Explorer. So here I can see even more details about this transaction, but this is not really important right now. Okay, so what can I do now? As you can see, I have two buttons, not only receive, now I have send, because once I've received money into this account, I'm now able to send it as well. And this is pretty much everything that you need to do with your Ledger wallet. You need to receive and send transactions. So if I want to send this transaction, I will, let's go to my blockchain. This is an account where I don't have any Ethereum, so it is, as you can see here, the balance is 0, so that will make it easier. Let me grab this address. Here I'm going to paste it, and now I need to select the amount. So I have 0.0042. I will need to send slightly less so that I can cover the fee. Every transaction has a fee, and in this case the fee is 17.6 gwei. It's a little high actually, and I see that if I want to send this much, I need to have this amount in my account, and I don't have. I have 0042. It asks me to have 0044. So let's send even less. I will send 0.0040. I still need to have more. Maybe I can customize this here and make it 11 gwei. Typically that should be enough for a transaction to come through, and I still need to have a little bit more. So that is making it a little more difficult. But as you see here, I can just, okay, I can play around with this until I see this is the total. So I need to make sure that this total here is not higher than the amount which I have in my account. Otherwise, I will not be able to cover that fee and this transaction will not occur. Okay, so this is it. This is what I'm sending, 0.00396. Let's continue. And now I'm asked to connect my Ledger device. Okay, so let's do that. And here I need to enter my PIN, of course. This is the first thing. It's 1, 2. By the way, don't have such an easy PIN like I just did. This is just for tutorial purposes. You have to have a much stronger PIN because you don't want to compromise anything easily. Okay, so now I will also need to navigate to the Ethereum application on my device. Okay, so you can see here, this is the Ethereum application. Both buttons to confirm. Okay, so that's done. Let's continue here. So now I need to confirm this transaction on the actual device. Without this confirmation, I cannot send it. This is why I needed to connect it. And let's go step by step. Review transaction. Amount is 0.00396, that's correct. This is the address. Now, I should really check that address. So let's go back to the blockchain here. I need to make sure that the address that I have here is exactly the same as the address that is showing me on the device, so that there is no discrepancy. And typically I would advise you to do that digit by digit, letter by letter, rather than just the first couple of letters and the last few letters, because sometimes mistakes happen when you copy and paste. Even there's been reports about softwares that can alter the address that you copy and paste and stuff like that. So it is correct. I'm happy with that. So I will click next. This is showing me what my fee is going to be. I'm clicking next, and now I need to accept and send it. And to do that, or I can reject it. If I am to accept it, I need to click with both buttons again. If I want to reject it, I will go to the next one and I will click with both buttons again. Let's accept it. Okay, the transaction has been sent and I can view the details. I can even view it in the Explorer again, and this is going to show me 20 seconds ago, 12 seconds ago in fact. I only have one block confirmation, so I guess I will have to wait a little bit longer until it's showing up here in this blockchain account. So again, I will pause this video now and I will come back to it when the transaction has been received. And yes, the transaction is received here in my blockchain. I just got it. Now you notice that I changed the fee when I was sending this transaction. Now this is something that you can do, but if you're not advanced user and you don't know how to do it or what is a reasonable fee, I don't advise you to do it. Just go with the fees that are preset, because this network fee here that is preset is the fee that will guarantee your transaction to be fast. Now I've been sending transactions a lot, and I know that I can send a transaction for between 9, 10 to 11 GUI without a problem, and it will be received. But if you are not sure what that means and everything, this is not a tutorial about that, so I'm not going to go into any more details and make this video too long. Just leave the fee as it is. But as you saw, you are able to customize it. You are able to choose your fee and to, to select a smaller fee. That would mean that the transaction could take longer time. In my case, it was just a couple of minutes, and that's all right. But it could take much longer if you select a smaller fee, and especially if the network is congested. So that's about this. As you can see, I'm not connected anymore. This is also disconnected. And this is the same process for any of the coins that the Ledger Nano X supports. Bitcoin, Ripple, Dash, Stellar, whichever it is. It doesn't really matter. You will have these two buttons here, send, receive, and this is all you need to do. And lastly, I want to show you a couple of the features on the device itself. So let me connect it again. Or perhaps I don't even need to connect it. Okay, I'm not going to connect it. I'm just going to show you like that. So let me enter the PIN again and unlock the device. As you see, every time it's actually scrambling these numbers, so it's not showing them always from 0. And when you are confirming, you need to get to that check sign. Okay, so now what I need to do to quit the Ethereum application, because I didn't exit from that one, I have to scroll until I see that quit. So this is the application, and I have a few different options, including settings. And in the settings, I'm currently not allowed to do anything, but just so you know, you have a few things that you need to scroll through. You go to quit. With both buttons, you exit that application. So now what I have here is a control center. If I go into the control center, it's asking me to hold both of these buttons in order to access some of the features. So let's hold them. And now I have a few features here that I can access, including the power off feature, or I can go to the Bluetooth. And right now I'm not using it with the Bluetooth because I'm connecting to the computer, and computer connectivity is via the cable. However, if I want to connect it to my phone application, I will need to use the Bluetooth. And this is how you need to access the Bluetooth if you need to enable it. By default, it's going to be enabled, or you can disable it by clicking both of these buttons. As you can see right now, it's disabled. So because I'm not using it right now, I will disable it. When I decide to connect it to my phone via Bluetooth, then I will go to that option and I will enable it. And now it's enabled and disabled again. And that's it. Now, these are settings here. If I go into the settings, I have general settings, I have security settings, and that's it. In the general settings, I have the device name. If I want to change the name or something, I don't really want to do that. Battery saver, it's asking me how many minutes I want it to be active until it goes off. I might want to have that on 10 minutes, or I might want to have it on 1 minute, or even never power off, but in that case your battery will be going easily. So I'll leave it at 10 minutes, it's fine with me. The firmware version, now this is what you will need to update every now and then. Ledger will be releasing updates to the firmware of the device, and you know, maybe every few months, a couple of times a year, probably, you will have to be updating that. I will do a video to show you when the next firmware update is released. Usually I do these updates, so you will find that video. It's very straightforward and easy, by the way. Then you have the serial number. If you want to check that, you can call it from here. I'm not going to go here. And pretty much that's it. So let's go back. And in the security settings, you can change your PIN from here. This is what I'm going to do straight after this tutorial, because as you know, I selected a very easy PIN. And in fact, I will be also using a passphrase. This is where you can select the auto lock, how long to be after, you know, 1 minute or 10 minutes or something like that. I'll leave it at 10 minutes. And if you've paired it with different computers and different applications, at some point for security you might want to reset these pairings or reset everything in the device, all the changes that you've made. These are the settings that you have here in security. And that's pretty much it. So let's turn it off again. Hold both buttons and power off. Hold both buttons again. And there we go. So this is everything for this tutorial on the setting up of Ledger Nano X. In a separate tutorial, I'm going to show you how to restore the device if you're going to be using it as an older device. Maybe you had a Ledger Nano S and you want to upgrade to the Ledger Nano X, and you don't really want to be sending your coins from the old device to the new one. You can actually just restore it. And also you can use the Ledger Nano S, you know, just at home as a backup, and the Ledger Nano X can be the device that you will be carrying with you when you're traveling and everything. So you can actually use both of the devices with the same account. This will be a separate tutorial, so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Stay tuned, hit on the notification icon so that you can get notified when I'm posting a new video. And also, I'm currently having a free giveaway to all of my subscribers, people who like and comment on my videos. You can win one of these special prizes. You can win the Ledger Nano S. This is the grand prize. Also, I have monetary prizes. I give away $50 worth of Bitcoin, $50 worth of Ethereum, $25 worth in Litecoin, and $25 worth in Dash. And also I'm giving away 5 Revolut cards. Revolut card is the one that I'm using most on my travels, because you can exchange between different currencies without a fee, which is very important when you travel. And also they have Ethereum and Bitcoin buy and sell option in the app. It's an app on your phone, and the card is accepted in all ATMs around the world and in shops as well. It's a Visa card. And I'm giving away 5 of these as well. So all you have to do in order to qualify for this giveaway is you have to be a subscriber, you have to like and comment on my videos from now all the way until August, when I am selecting the winners. So share this video with anyone who might also benefit from watching it. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.